i.e., I'm going to the pristine paradise in the middle of nowhere in the Pacific all alone to visit the Twin White House to solve the mystery of the stone-faced monolith, learn the reality of World War II, checking out the Rock Islands and having lunch on the most breathtaking beach on the planet, and ending the day by snorkeling with a jellyfish, all done safely, inexpensively, and easily. Anything I can do, you can do. DIY Destinations Palau, and you are invited. We are so fortunate to live in a small world with so many cultures, so much beauty, and so much diversity. The world waits for no one. It's up to each of us to discover its magnificent destinations. I want to make travel accessible to all of us by showing how it can be done safely and inexpensively. Officially, the Republic of Palau is an island nation located in the Western Pacific Ocean. It has a population around 21,000 spreading across 250 islands, which form the western chain of the Caroline Islands in Micronesia. The most populous of these forms the state of Koror. Palau remains one of the few places on the planet that's free from environmental degradation and is home to the world's first shark sanctuary, banning all commercial shark fishing within the water of its exclusive economic zone. However, as with all other Pacific Island nations, the rising sea level presents a major environmental threat, and it is also vulnerable to earthquake, volcanic activities, and tropical storms. Getting to this island nation is not easy. Palau is not well connected and I have to fly from Manila to get here, and now it's 2:15 in the morning. Many people call Palau the most inaccessible paradise, and I cannot agree more. Initially, I was offered a homestay since I wanted to get the truly local experience, but given the amount of time, I decided to take up on an offer to stay in downtown Koror instead. Most hotels offer airport pickups and taxi normally costs about $10. But lucky me, the driver and our friend who owns the F&B Palau Hotel is waiting for us. I only have 4 days in Palau. After waking up early and found out that everything's ultra expensive here, especially as no inland public transportation, I really freaked out on the fact that I may not able to get around for cheap. But thank goodness, I was introduced to a local Palauian with the help of a little red envelope.
I will let you know why I'm holding a red envelope and how much it will be costing me. But before I do that, I need to really shave first.
The best option for getting around and discover all of the off-the-beaten-path attractions is hiring a Palauian driver. By the way, the car rental costs about $50 and there is $100 inside that red envelope. Our first stop towards the capital is Koror Balabao Bridge, or KB Bridge.
So this is the Friendship Bridge built by the Japanese in 2002 after a previous Korean KB Bridge collapsed and it's still underwater. And what's so nice about this particular bridge is there's a place for you to swim. There's a hut that you can actually do your barbecues and just chill out. There's fully equipped with toilets and it's completely free of charge. There's even Wi-Fi here. So it's one of the free places you can come to Palau and just completely chill out.
And along the way, you'll also pass by the only international airport in the country. Nearby is the location of our first off-the-beaten-path place, the Old Japanese Communication Center. There's no signs and cannot be found on any tourist map.
Well, this is actually one of the 3 leftover antennas by the Japanese in the World War II. And over there, apparently, is an abandoned building also left by Japanese. And I'm really curious what's inside that abandoned building. This used to be the Japanese Communication Center for the whole of Micronesia. And as you can see, after the war, it's pretty much fallen into abandon, and it's seen as better days.
The heavily bombed complex is mostly intact, providing a good example of Japanese architecture during its administration of Palau. Palau has a US zip code of 96940 for the entire country, with the exception of 96939 for its capital and the seat of the government, Negrumu. It's about 12 miles away from Clore and located in the central east coast of Palau's largest island, Babadab.
We're in a beautiful national capital here in Macau, and as you can see right behind me, the beautiful architecture is actually based on the Washington DC's White House. And there's also a Taiwanese flag here. And the reason they do that is many of the infrastructure here in Palau are either built by the foreign government or donated by them. So in this case, it's donated by Taiwan. And what's so interesting about this particular building is for many years it's just dormant. And anyone can come in and out as they like. But starting in 2008, they start to really utilize it. And I'm really curious to check out what's inside this beautiful building.
The picturesque Capitol ground includes judicial, legislative, and executive buildings for the national government. The separate buildings are connected via a central open plaza that's country's legislature. The complex cost over $45 million and was officially opened on October 7, 2006.
That is a judicial branch of the government. As you can see, we are standing on top of the hill where the Capitol is located, overlooking the breathtaking Pacific Ocean. This is actually open to the public, and there is no reason for you not to come here when you visit Palau. After all, it is free, even the parking is free, and it's a great way for you to learn the politics of this country.
Next, we'll visit our off-beaten path attraction. Only 5 minutes away is the location of Nekomalam Marine Sanctuary, and this is not found in any tourist map.
Now, if you like surfing, this is only a short distance away from the capital. And you can come here and you can just see the wave. It's actually pretty amazing. And there is $10 admissions fee, but if you come at the right time, which is like right now, there's no fee because the guard's not there. Or come out there lunch break or come in the weekends. There absolutely is no one on duty.
There's many off the beaten path attractions not featured on tourist maps, but next one can't even be found anywhere online or on any maps. That's why I encourage you to get a local Palauan to show you their country, and oh yeah, thanks for supporting the local economy.
So to our next destination, we drop by here at the Niwa State Conservatory, the Pan site. And this is a nice site. You can actually see the state capitol from this side over there, and also you can also enjoy the nice view.
At last, I arrived at one of the most important archaeological sites in Palau, the stone-faced monolith dating back to 161 AD. Its nickname is the Easter Island of Micronesia, located at Babadab's northernmost point.
Now, one of the most important aspects of our show is to promote off the beaten path attractions and responsible tourism. So this is one of the sites I would love to promote because very few tourists come here. It's called Baru Chai, and what you see behind me is stone monolith. We don't know how they got here or their exact purpose, but it is estimated that what they think is these are used to support cranes or beams or steeps.
Only a few miles away is the Namal waterfall. It's the largest in Micronesia. The opinion of most tourism suggests it's a long walk down, but it's worth the hike.
I'm at the entrance of the Namal waterfall, and I've been told this is about 20 minutes hike down there. So when you're coming here, make sure you bring a towel because it's going to be spectacular and you probably can get wet. With that being said, let's continue our hike.
However, be prepared for lots of slippery slope as there's lots of pools and steamboat water flowing down from the miniature falls. There's also a zipline and monorail option, but given our budget, I'll stick with the long walk. Along the trail, visitors can find historical remains of the Japanese colonial times, such as the old locomotive, part of the old railway system.
Behind me is a love tree, and this is one of the rare places you can find it. What it is two trees with separate roots conjoined together with a branch. And over there, the sign says, if you want to be joined in love with your significant others or with your new lover, take a picture right here. And as you can see, unfortunately at this moment I don't have a partner, but next time when I'm back, I'm determined to bring that person with me.
A Palauan legend states that Namao waterfall was formed by a body of a eel spirit. On the cliffside, the spirit falls into a deep sleep that can no longer waken up. Time after time, the eel's body develops into a river and the head becomes the waterfall. Sadly, given the sunset, I wasn't able to travel to the end of the path. So, the lesson is don't come after 3 p.m.
Wow. Well, this is the fresh way to get hydrated. And especially after like a half an hour hike down, half hour hike up. And it would cost $2. What a great deal. So, bon appetit.
I returned to Clore for the night, but next morning I headed towards the remote island of Petelu. The most inexpensive way to get there is by taking the public ferry departing from Clore on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and returning from Petelu on Wednesdays and Thursdays. The journey takes about 2.5 hours, and as of 2016, the cost is only $5 plus $1 for each luggage. However, PVA or Palau Visitors Authorities has arranged me a complimentary ride on a speedboat operated by Impact Tours. Petelu is one of the 16 states of Palau located approximately 25 miles southwest of Clore.
And the island of Petelu is a form of the limestone. And today the population is over 600 people, and they live on the northern tip of the island. The town is named Itaqlog. They were fishing and farming, which is that the women are farmer and the men are fishermen.
The main attraction offshore is diving, and there's many beautiful beaches on the island, as well as the remains of the Battle of Petelu. But regardless, you need to pay a visit to the visitor center to get your state
We have
permit.
diving, land tour, sports fishing, and more.
Petelu is pretty small, with only one major road stretching from the northern to southern tip of the island, so it's unlikely you get lost. I recommend you rent a bike for about $10 a day. If you are sensitive to heat, then consider renting an air-conditioned car. But beware, the fuel is extremely expensive here. The most famous attraction is definitely the remains from the Battle of Petelu, or the codenamed Operation Stalemate 2, from September to November 1944. A ferocious battle took place on the island between the occupying Imperial Japanese forces and the invading US forces. My guide Tanji from PVA took me to Petelu War Museum as the first stop. It's located inside a former Japanese storage bunker. He's also the founder of the museum in 1999.
And everything that inside the museum I collect in the jungle.
So these are our original artifacts.
Yeah.
The museum contains a large collection of photos and original artifacts from the battle.
Like over 13,000 Americans and Japanese are died on Petelu. Okay.
This invading operation was controversial, as it inflicted the highest casualty than any other assault in the US military history. I also took the chance to ask Tanji about how the locals feel about both the Japanese and the Americans.
So 100% of the population, the local people, are forced by Japanese to move to the Babelda part of the island. They cannot say Americans is bad because they do the bombardment here. They didn't say Japanese are good because we stay with them for many years, for 30 years. Becomes sad when the Japanese are send them out of their island. That's another sad feeling. So that's one Palawan or Palaluans, they don't forget. The Japanese Navy.
We headed to a 1,000-man cave on the northern outskirts of Kitakube village. The limestone tunnels and chambers are built by the Japanese during the World War II.
Japanese plant.
This site is arguably the most disturbing place on the island. Some call it the execution cave.
So I'm actually inside the 1,000-man cave, and the reason it's called that name is because there's lots of Japanese that died inside here when Americans came and used flamethrowers, grenades, and so on to kill off the Japanese. And if you look at the ground, there's still lots of redwood. And you know, they still say there's human remains inside here, like bones and so on, but I didn't see any today. One of the reasons that you must be careful when you visit this cave is amount of glasses, and it is not a good idea to wear a slipper. Let me just show you this right now. Look at this. It's absolutely everywhere. And
A visit here requires a flashlight as the surface is very uneven and a large number of war relics still litter the floor, including original sake bottles, shoes, canteens, helmets, and other war items. By the way, you can expect to come across a large spider and be dive bombed by bats. In my case, I got hit by one.
oh shit.
We headed off the US memorial dedicated to the 200 dead and 900 wounded that served in the 1st Marine Division who participated in the Battle of Peleliu.
To own the
To my surprise, right across is a Shinto shrine to the 10,000 Japanese fought against the US, including their commanders who burnt the regimental colors and committed suicide near the site. Coming to Peleliu is like going back in time and walking into a living history. You'll be able to touch the remains of the bunkers, vehicles, aircrafts, weapons, and more, scattered all over the island. As I approached the site of the Japanese 200mm gun, I came across the LVTA-1 landing vehicle used by the US Marine Corps during the World War II. It has the ability to carry 18 fully equipped men, or 4,500 pounds of cargo. Originally intended to carry supplies from the ship to the shore, however, they lack armor protection and their tracks and suspension are unreliable when used on the hard terrain. However, the Marines soon recognized the potential of LVT as an assault vehicle. Right up the hill contains a Japanese 200mm gun cannon dug into the rocks and virtually unreachable with a sniper hole guarding the entrance.
Okay, now I'm standing at the Bloody Nose Ridge, the beginning, and this is the hill 205. And behind the gun, to the right of the gun, there's a big artificial caves for the ammunition storage bunker for the 200mm gun.
However, since it was deeply dug into the rocks, it has very limited field of view and effectiveness. Our next stop is a former Japanese headquarters heavily damaged by the US bombardment in 1944.
So this is the Japanese headquarters. It's abandoned now because obviously the war is over. But before they used to, everything is command from here. Communications, the troop movements, all aspects of the war. And it's pretty amazing to see actually still remain standing today. So as you can see, the building here is largely destroyed, and right now it's pretty much overgrown by the nature. But still, it's pretty amazing to look at the floors and able to know so many people die because of the war.
Cutting across the bushes contain a small airfield built by the Japanese during the World War II.
Standing right now here on the runway. The runway on Peleliu is a World War II runway built by the Japanese.
After the war, the airfield was quickly repaired and became an American air base until it was abandoned in 1945. Also nearby is the Japanese Army pillbox bunker. Despite its neglect, it's surprisingly in great condition. This is also where many Japanese soldiers barricaded and have died. Just before reaching the Orange Beach, there are two great coral monuments with plaques dedicated to U.S. Army's 81st Infantry Wildcat Division, who aided the 1st Marine Division, which had encountered extremely stiff resistance in the Central Highland.
Okay, now I'm standing on the Orange Beach on Peleliu. And the stalemate code area on Peleliu on D-Day of September 1944. The beach on Peleliu, it looked like this. And all the Amtraks are come up over the reef.
Another reminder, Peleliu is not only about World War II.
So I'm standing on the southern tip of Peleliu Island right here. And this area is considered one of the best diving sites in the world. The boat beside me, they are all the diving boats. And you have nature on one side, but you also have history on this side because that's what we call the invasion beach.
Came in.
Lastly, we traveled to the most southern part of Peleliu, to the Scarlet Beach or Bloody Beach, also the site of Peleliu Peace Memorial Park.
So Japanese always come to Peleliu Island to pay respect to their soldiers who fought in the Pacific War, and they actually built this Peleliu Peace Memorial Park to commemorate those who died in that war.
This memorial was built with a great thought of peace, with each of the plates on the monuments commemorate the people who sacrificed their lives in the island and in the sea of the Western Pacific during the war between the United States and Japan. In 2015, the Japanese emperors and empress came here to mark the 70th anniversary of the end of the World War II and offer flowers and prayers. I ended my day by returning to the locally owned family-run Storyboard Resort for dinner. This is where I also stayed for the entire filming of Peleliu. This segment is not possible without the generous support from the local Palladian owner and the staff of the resort, who provided me with complimentary accommodations and all my meals.
Really?
But for those of you who want to dine out, the selection is very limited. There's few grocery stores and a cafe. However, if you find any fruit on the tree, it's yours to take. I went to sleep early as tomorrow will be another early morning since I wanted to capture the magnificent sunrise. But when I woke up, there's a little issue.
So I'm still waiting here. It's roughly about 4:50, and hopefully we will able to catch the sunrise somewhere. So I don't know if you can hear the roosters calling out, but it's everywhere, the sound here. Okay, they stop. But I don't think I can actually oh, there you go. I don't think I can do the sunrise because no one's coming to pick me up, but I'm still gonna wait around. Let's hope there's a miracle happening and I can capture that time lapse.
But after an hour of waiting, I was picked up. So ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy the magnificent sunrise live from Peleliu. One of the final places I filmed is the pristine Blue Lagoon located on the Crocodile Road, and it's absolutely gorgeous. After returning to the Storyboard Resort, I was once again treated to amazing breakfast and a dose of hospitality of Palauans.
Thank you.
Reading on his letter, and he
It's all good.
After breakfast, Tanji and I visit the Petlu Senior Center. It's also their fire station with full-out used fire trucks donated by Japan. This also serves as a temporary office of the state government. But don't worry, Taiwan is totally ready and eager to pay for a brand new office building. I came here to thank Governor Tammy Schmoot for waiving my state permit and the filming authorization and providing me with all the necessary assistance. Perhaps he'd also like to welcome our audience to this beautiful island.
Good day, my name is Tammy Schmoot. I'm the governor of Petlu State. I'd like to extend a warm invitation to all of you to visit our island state. It's a beautiful place, very natural. We have natural white beaches. We have good, one of the best diving spots in Palau. Snorkeling, scuba diving, and even just take a land tour to visit some of the famous World War II remains. So please make time to come and visit us. Thank you very much.
But leaving might not be that simple.
So let me give you an update on what's happening with my filming adventure here in Palau. So I'm in Petlu Islands right now, and apparently there was arrangement made from PVA to get me back to Kor on a boat that actually doesn't that's supposed to leave today, but apparently it's actually leaves tomorrow.
While I just about to give up on returning back to Klor on that day, I was met with another dose of local hospitality, this time by the Rock Island Tour Company. I was offered a ride back to Klor with Governor Schmiel, which I interviewed earlier. While I returned to Klor, I was hungry and was frustrated to discover the restaurants are insanely expensive. Even Chinese food costs up to $15 a plate.
Now, Palau is the most expensive country I've been to so far. You can lose weight no matter what. Either you spend so much money on food, your wallet becomes lighter, or you just don't eat at all. Now, there are some lesser expensive places like this one right here. You can get like a rice for $1, like chicken skew for $2, pork skew for like $1. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, but you do have to find them. It's off the main road.
Another place located on the main street is called Ben Ermei Burgers and Fries, where you can grab some classic American burgers and fries for about $7. But there's another way to save money on food by visiting the only shopping mall in the country. The WCTC shopping center is located on the main street.
So this is actually one of the two main shopping centers here in Klor and one behind me. So I'm actually really curious how it looks like inside. Without being San Francisco, it's actually open till 10, so we got lots of time to wander and shop around.
It also has one of the two supermarkets in the entire country. The prices are pretty comparable to the ones in US, but if you like Filipino snacks, you are in for a treat. The mall also have a drugstore, an electronics store, a furniture store, and a home to one of the very few Taiwanese embassies in the world. Across the street is a department store and home to a second supermarket. The price of food is high in Palau since it relies mostly on imports. So I wish you good luck on that lucky draw. On the second floor, you'll find the American-style department store selling everything from bicycles, televisions, to shoes. Klor is very small and all the actions are located on the main street where most of the shops are located. Given the time constraint, I didn't get to go to a prison gift shop which sells Palauan storyboards. They are traditional wood carvings depicting Palauan myth and legends. Here's a little tip. Start negotiating at 60% less than the asking price. Just do it. Did I also mention the proceeds of which goes to inmates' families to help support them while they are in prison? I decided to once again to hit the bed early since tomorrow will be my last day.
So I managed to hatch a ride with one of the boats that's going out today, and unfortunately Rock Island and Jellyfish Lake and all these amazing attractions is not a DIY thing. You have to come and get a tour boat, and or else you're going to be lost all over the sea, and I can't guarantee people's safety when you do that. But what I recommend is you get a local company to take you out there, and there's many of them that you can choose from, and today we got this wonderful company to take us there. So let's check things out.
To visit the Rock Island and Jellyfish Lake, you'll need to pay for a Rock Island use permit, which costs $100, and there is no way around it, not even myself. This is normally not included in the price of most tours, but most tour companies also sell the permit, or you can pick up here at the Clore State Ranger's office. To be honest, I'm really exhausted and tired towards the end of this Palau trip, so it's better to let this young, energetic local tour guide to take over. Amazingly, she's only 22 and already the owner of a tour company.
Ali, that's Hai in Palawan. I'm currently located in the island called Palau. It is a country located in the Pacifics, and my name is Trissa. I work for Happy Tour. Palau is very beautiful. It has another name called the Rainbow's End, or the God's Secret Private Garden Aquarium. It has all sorts of underwater features. It is really beautiful. I really wish to see every one of you if I have the chance. Hi, so I'm your tour guide today. Today I'll be bringing you to some of the best snorkeling sites in Palau. Some of them being soft coral, big drop off, and the famous German Channel, and of course Jellyfish Lake, which is harmless, the only harmless jellyfish you get in the world. And so, are we ready? Okay, so let's go.
恋人在这边拍完照会得到天神的保护，天长地久。
After a 15 minutes ride, we arrive at a rock formation called the Lover's Arch.
So this is actually the Lover's Arch right back there, and it is said that if you were to take a photo with your significant other, or your brothers and sisters, or anyone you love, you will enjoy to be blessed by the angels, and you'll never be separated.
We continue on to a soft coral arch. Palau's coral reef are considered one of the 7 underwater wonders of the world.
So welcome to Palau's soft coral arch, and it is located right in front of the boat, to the left side. And the soft coral arch is an archway between 2 different rock islands, and under the arch is a full garden of soft corals in different colors, in pink, purple, green, yellow, all sorts of different colors. And they are only grown at an environment where the current flows in and out, which means later on when we enter the water, we'll stop at the entrance and wait for the current to bring us in. Because if we're in a different direction, an opposite direction with the current, it will be hard to swim against it.
On our way to the next destination, we pass by the whale-shaped islands through the German channels.
Oh my goodness, look how crystal clear that is.
So hi everyone, we're currently traveling through the German Channel. We could take a quick look at the side of the boat. It used to be a very full whole coral reef in a crescent shape. And when the German people were here in 1899 during World War I, they found a significant amount of phosphate down at the southern island of Palau called Angar, and they had to transport these elements from Angar Island back to Koror, where the capital is. So it took more than half a day to go around this coral reef. So what they did is they came here and buried bombs underneath and cracked open a path passway for larger vessels to transport these elements back and forth throughout the islands. And this is also called the manta ray channel because larger sea animals also take advantage of this pathway to go from the inner lagoon to the southern lagoon of the Palau Islands. And if we look to the right of our boat, these little islands, they are connected under by the sand, the beach, and altogether there are more than 70 islands, which is why they named it 70 Islands. Back in 1956, this is the first underwater conservatory area that is established in the Micronesian area.
那你可以看到大部分，对，还有机会会看到鲨鱼啊、海龟啊。
We arrive at the big drop-off just south of the German Channel. This is a very popular dive site for beginners, as the current is mild.
Hey, so we're here now at the big drop-off. As you can see, behind me is a very visible big platform of coral reef. But underneath me, it drops to about 200 meters. So it is an underwater cliff, and on top of it, there's a variety of different kind of soft corals and different rose corals or cauliflower corals, and you can see a lot of different species of fish and even larger sea creatures like sharks, turtles if we're lucky. So let's get to it. These corals, they're actually they have a slime on the outside of it, so if we touch it, it kind of has like sting cells that will make us itch. But they are perfect with the clownfish. Clownfish is the only type of fish that can live inside of it.
我会帮大家带下去。
After snorkeling, I was hungry, but thank goodness the lunch is included with most tours, and ours is no exception. We headed towards Long Beach, lies between the two rock islands south of Koror.
So this is the Long Beach of Palau. Like its name, you can see it's a very long beach that extends from this island to the one across it, and it's more than 2 miles long. Every month there are 2 days where the tide goes the lowest, where the whole beach would shine under the sun, where you can see the whole crescent that goes from here all the way to the other side. And it is the most famous beach in Palau where the most tourists visit. And people can do tourist activities on here. We cook, do barbecue, and people take photo shots, and it's a very, very famous postcard site too.
The Jellyfish Lake is located between Koror and Petlu. It's around 12,000 years old and is best known for its moon and golden jellyfish. It's also the only one of the Palau's marine lake open to tourists.
Alright, finally we're here at Jellyfish Lake. This is actually one of the largest stratified marine lake in the world, meaning there are different layers in this lake, and it is also almost completely isolated from the waters outside. Although this is still salt water, but it's kind of not so salty. The percentage is kind of lower because due to the rain and that washes out the salt. And in here we'll find the golden jellyfish. It's called golden jellyfish because when the Japanese were here, when they left, actually, after they left, the Americans were trying to find whatever the Japanese might have left behind, particularly in gold. So they were, when they reached here, when they were above this lake, they saw something shining, reflecting, and it looking like round gold. They thought it was gold, so they came in and actually found that they are jellyfish, and they are golden colored, and they are actually are harmless to human skin. That during the Miocene ages, there was a geographic movement where the rock islands surrounded this lake and trapped the spotted jellyfish. And over time, these jellyfish they evolved because they lost their enemy, so they lost the food chain. So basically, nobody's here to harm them. They lost their tentacles, so they lost their ability to sting. So now we can swim in a pool of large and small jellyfish in this lake only. So this is our golden jellyfish. It is 80% made out of water, so we're not allowed to really raise it above the water because it may melt from the sunlight. So we'll just look at it under, and it's really cute and it's gooey like real jelly. And the shape, there's a really like a star figure at its head. See on the camera.
However, in the spirit of conservation, I'd like to remind you that it is forbidden to wear sunscreen as it can pollute the lake. Please stay on the trail as not to disturb the vegetations. And diving is not allowed as the bubbles from the scuba diving tanks can harm the jellyfish if they collect beneath their bell.
Got this one.
So I'm in a lovely, amazing, magnificent, whatever you want to call it, island of Palau. And I'm doing this review.
Sadly, everything comes to an end, and my visit to this remote paradise is no exception. But before leaving, I did a video review for Palau Hotel owned by my friend.
The view. So one thing about this hotel is I love the fact it's located in town center. Right across is a supermarket, the only supermarket you will find here, and another one across the street. And the bars and clubs can only be found here.
Since there is no public transportations, many hotels offer shuttles to the airport or by taxi is approximately $10. The airport is small and has few facilities, therefore I do not recommend you pass through the customs into the departure gate until 20 minutes prior to your flight. There is no amenities in the waiting area, such as duty-free shops. By the way, don't forget to bring $50 for the embarkment tax. Cash only, please. Among all the nations I've the privilege to visit, Palau stands out as one of the most unique destinations. Despite having very limited natural resources and isolation, it's impressive that a population of 18,000 have collectively chosen to protect its environment over profit, securing the priceless natural treasures like the rock islands and the jellyfish for all of us and our future generations. In Petluke, I relived the horror of the war and learned that there is no winners when fighting against our fellow human being. But I also found hope after visiting the mysterious stone monolith, which show us our collective potentials when working as one. Thank you for watching and goodbye. Mehi Kong from the pristine paradise of Palau.